big, fat, giant macro update, and we're going to be mogging all the non-believers. Are we still on track for macro? Yes, we are. I'm going to be showing you Raoul Pal's latest videos. All these slides we are familiar with. I think there are a lot of lessons to learn, friends, because I'm first going to start with something different. We're going to go through some comments that Raoul Pal pretty much cops. Now, as you know, Raoul Pal, friends, he's got like, over 1 million subscribers now, runs the Good Morning Index, GMI. So he's a macro dude, right? And big picture, big thinker. Something interesting about Raoul, right? He first discovered when Bitcoin was like, I think $500 or 1,000. And he made his first article. He said, this is a binary bet, either goes to $0 or $1 million. And he basically measured off like gold's market cap all the way back in like 2013. Kind of amazing, yeah? So look at the comments he's collecting. Why does crypto suck ass? It's pretty much nothing new, right? Nothing new. We're going to go through all the macro and everything. We're still on track. But look at all these other stuff, right? This is Michael B. I've shown you this before. Stop with the banana zone crap. There isn't one. There isn't going to be one. Most alts are way below all-time highs. Keep earning your income from your online channel. I would. It's pretty much implying that it's never going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Okay? Next comment. It was always obvious that Raoul had self-interest supporting this VC project. Thanks for confirming. The guy is one of the worst cancers in the space. Plan C as well. So he's replying to Pui Network. Pui, S-U-I. Man, people are really nasty when it comes to these. But yeah, I get it, man. It's tough, bro. It's tough. Go and play with your banana. Well, guess what, bro? I already did. Now, you see these comments, they are just reflecting the current cycle, the current monthly candles. You notice how everyone's salty? Well, if Bitcoin's up and Soylana's up, why is everybody salty? Because most people are in altcoins when they have a lower net worth. That's why. The average altcoin size is much smaller. There's more people in altcoins. Very nasty. Okay. Also, why aren't you hearing that about Bitcoin? It's because Bitcoin's gone up now. But also, people in Bitcoins, people holding Bitcoin, I'm holding Bitcoin, but people, Bitcoin maxis, in their mind, they really think, and I hope we get it, but they've already priced in like a $300,000 BTC today. So that's why they're not complaining, because in their mind, Bitcoin's 300K. Because that's what the human fallacy is when it comes to investing. Whatever has happened in the recent past, we project it out. And also, unfortunately, with altcoins, they've been going down for 4 years. So that's why all these people and all of us are thinking, it's never going to get better. Here's a Pokeball that will make you feel better. This is the US PMI. All right? It has been going on for a very, very, very long time. 32 months now in the red. Remember, there's two PMIs, friends. There's the S&P 500. There's the global PMI. That number's like 52. But this is the US one. I like the US one. The global one, maybe it's got a bit of China, a bit of India. I don't like it. And by the way, it's the same stuff. It's just, see, the world's expanding. Yeah, but like, China and India are expanding. What about America, bro? That's where everybody has all the money. Because America is the consumers of everything. So when these other factories and stuff out here are expanding out in the rest of the world, Vietnam and stuff, they're just, they're doing it just to buy like rice for themselves, so they can like live and work another day. In America, though, when America's manufacturing expands and businesses actually crank there, people start really sloshing around cash. So that's why a lot of us are upset, because we had 32 months of badness. Remember, we had 6, 12, and 10 months for the past 3 cycles of how low it would stay below 52. We are now month 32. The longest in history was 42 months that I could find, the past 70 to 80 years. So that's how we know. The absolute worst case is there is no party time until you do another 10 months from there. It is next year, March. Good to know the worst case, though, isn't it? Also, Raoul in his presentation and stuff, I mean, he was talking like he was a bit surprised. He's like, why you guys like that? Well, it's you chose the wrong coin. I think it's a bit, but I get it. It's being a bit defensive just because he's getting attacked so much. But yeah, bro, friends, I've shown you this. Okay. Soylana. Look how much of the market was long Soylana in the bear market. 0.75% of the industry. Yeah, and now you've had more people in. Yeah, but these people think they've won the game. They don't know they're about to get cucked by everything else. Like, people who are long Soylana, why aren't they complaining, friends? Because they've sold their losing bags in their mind and they bought the top of something else. And they're like, oh, I'm a winner now. I'm a winner now. Soylana's going to go to 3,000. It's going to flip Ethereum. We've won the game. We have adoption. That's what they're all pricing into their head. Now, I hope it happens, man. I want crypto to crank. I want all of these numbers to crank. But now you get to see why. Why aren't people who are long Solana, why aren't they complaining? When theoretically, they're not even that much richer. It's because they feel better. They're like, oh, thank God I'm on the winning adoption team. I'm on the coin that everybody talks about. I'm on the chain that it can do no wrong. That's the human fallacy, right? So those people, they were pessimistic. They've sold, say, Pulse Chain down 80%, Hex down 99%. They've sold their PDI listings, all the Soy Cabal, Twink influencers. They've sold Chainlink down. They've sold everything else down. They went and bought Soylana, but they don't think it's the top. Even though we're like, look, bro, you bought after it's been running for a year and a half as the favorite. You've been running as the favorite for a year and a half. Think. Now, I'm going to show you some of his lovely charts. This is the US dollar. The yellow and white line is the US dollar proxy from the first cycle of Trump, DXY. This blue line, it is where we are right now. So we are making lower lows right now. Just showing you that Trump's policy is to weaken the dollar. Remember, there's $360 trillion of world debt. 50% is US dollar. That's 180 trillion. Every percent that the Dixie drops is $1.8 trillion of purchasing power stimulus in the world. So every time that ticks down, it's a very nice equivalent to an interest rate cut. Okay, this is the US dollar Dooney coming down. Okay, I don't know. Look, it's very hard to predict, the US dollar in terms of its exact chart pattern, but it's pretty much showing that we're repeating still of Trump's first cycle when we had the biggest alt season of all time, double bubble. This is global M2 of the past with global M2 of today. So this was global M2. The white line is the last time Trump was in president. And this faint blue line is where we are now. We're actually up here, and this is where we were last time. So we're actually running ahead. That's wild, man. Isn't that wild, friends? We have printed more money faster. So you're probably saying, tell me, what about the old season? Remember, Bitcoin is correlated to global M2 liquidity, 89.5%. Altcoins are not. Altcoins and Bitcoin, they have their own two different phenomena, okay? Now, where is the holy grail book to tell us this when we invest? There isn't one. I'm the book. I had to go figure all of this out myself. I'm here 18 hours a day. This is what I do because I really want to understand. I go, hey, man, if I'm going to be turbo long, all-in concentrated, fading real estate, fading gold, fading stock market Ponzi, fading the very nice baby bum powder from Johnson & Johnson. If I'm going to be fading them and I'm going all in on something, I better know what the hell is making it tick, right? Well, look no further than this. Back to the US PMI chart. I've written it up here. Bitcoin follows global M2. Altcoins follow the business cycle. Bitcoin is statistically special. Yes? They print money, it goes up no matter what. Is it going to go on forever? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on that. I don't know. Okay? All I can tell you is it's been going up forever and you can see it right now. And I would, you don't want to bet against a massive trend like this. This is the chart, right? They've been printing money. Now its rate of growth goes down over time. So, it's diminishing. What is it going to diminish to? Michael Chad Saylor thinks it's going to diminish to between 20 and 30%. That's why his Bitcoin target's $13 to $50 million. I believe Bitcoin will diminish to gold. That's what I believe will happen. Gold is growing at about 6 to 8% per year. It's the real inflation rate. Okay. Now, the difference between, say, my 6.5 average versus Michael Saylor's 20% is enormous. That means in 20 years, my estimate, I guess Bitcoin is between 1.5 to 2.5 million, and Michael Saylor's is 13 to 20 million. We're early enough that we didn't give a crap. You know what I mean? So that's a good part. Now remember, the business cycle, friends, is its own phenomena. The PMI is its own phenomena. There's variables and all these other things economically you just don't know. But eventually what happens is, so the government they keep printing money. That's it. That's how the money, they keep expanding supply. That's just how the fiat system works. Eventually, there is the beginning of the ignition, which is the positive flywheel effect, where basically something, a story, a release, a product, don't know what it is, something in the air, people get a bit toey, and then we start the momentum, where we don't need the money printer anymore. And we have the kick up. And in the kick up, that's where we call it like a positive flywheel, where something spends a lot of money in one place, they have a lot of income, then they go spend a lot of money in another place, then that dude goes and buys 5 sandwiches from the sandwich shop. The sandwich shop dude says, hey, I need to stock up on oranges for the weekend. Then the orange juice store has to go make squeaky chairs for everybody to accompany them for their birthday parties, because can't have orange juice parties without squeaky chairs, of course not. You see what I mean? It's a positive flywheel. The economy's going, it's like spinning itself, and then that keeps heating up until inflation ticks a bit too much, and the government's like, oh, we can't print money as much anymore. Inflation's getting a bit too hot. And so begins the cycle all over again. Okay, that's it. But even if the government was intervening or not, the cycle still does it. It's just that they're more smooth now compared to what they used to be. Look at this. Look at these ginormous. Look what they used to be like. It was like, we're on the moon. Depression. We're on the moon. I'm going to kill myself. We're on the moon. You see this? See this? That's what it used to be like. Now we have the fiat money system, and governments are like way more intrusive when it comes to, if things are getting too hot, they pull it back. When things are getting too weak, they keep printing money. We are waiting for the business cycle part to start to kick up. What's it going to be? No one knows. If you knew, we'd go buy it, whatever it is right now. We don't know. Okay. Maybe it's got something to do with AI, because AI is very inspiring, but we don't know. Remember, this is the global M2. That's why, friends, global M2 today is faster and stronger than what it was in the past, which is funny because that also correlates to Bitcoin being stronger than altcoins than it was in the past. You can go look at the Bitcoin dominance right here. Bitcoin dominance, friends. See, Bitcoin, they printed a lot of money extra than they used to before, and Bitcoin dominance is like flown off the roof, and the cycle is not ticked up yet. So we might find in the next cycle, 2028, 2029, whatever it is, we might find that they don't need to print as much money because we might have an overflow effect from this cycle, leaving us confident in next cycle. So the government doesn't need to print as much money harder because we're easier to stimulate, if you know what I mean, right? Winky wink, family friendly way. And we might find, say, there's an earlier alt season next time. Maybe there's a positive flywheel that appears. See, it's random. So all I've done is I've just taken the opposite because that's what markets do, right? Like we are so bone crushed now that it's likely the next cycle, we have so much PTSD from this cycle when we're like, oh, remember when altcoins didn't go up for 4.5 years? Don't touch that shit. Let's go get in Bitcoin. And then probably everybody gets positioned where they expect Bitcoin to be the thing that goes up only next cycle, and then maybe Ethereum does an upward surprise, So we're always thinking one step ahead here. And with that, I think we deserve to crank it a bit. All right. This chart is global M2 with the Bitcoin lag, the 12-week lead. We are right here. Our light blue line and the last one is right here. The wonderful part is, friends, is this part up here, this is still ticking up in September, which I've shown you on my other global M2 liquidity chart, which was made further famous from my friend who likes to talk about crypto called Carlin Talks Crypto. See this? We're still rocketing up through September. Check it out. See that? Look at that. See, the date here is end of September, so they're still printing, and yeah, that's wild. That's a Cantillon effect, friends. That's actually in real time. They print money, and it takes 3 months to seep into the economy. And you're like wondering, who gets all the money first? Insiders. That's who gets all the money. Everybody but you and me. That's why we got to take on risk. Yeah, we don't have access to major loser Jerome Powell's money printer, friends. Check out this as well. This is the S&P 500 this is 1996 to 2001. This was the internet bubble boom. All right, this was the top of it. It went up here. We had the NASDAQ booming. So where we are right now is right here, friends. See this flame below? We just had, here's the Trump tariffs. This was the Trump tariff explosion. It's a two lines overlay with each other, right? So it seemed to be following it again. Maybe that's what we got going up and up and up and up. If you check faintly on the right here, S&P 500 hits 7,000. Wow. AI is enough to inspire the world. If it inspires me, I mean, like, you don't know what's coming, man. The economy is going to be a new economy, man. But 2030 is a totally new economy. We're going to have, friends, these AI, they will have PhD knowledge. Okay? And they don't sleep. And you don't need to feed them. So, how do you price an economy where some dude has spent 30 years researching stuff his whole life when like 80% of them are useless because there's AI agents working with each other? What happens when the AI does their own research and then they all share information and then there's another AI that reads it? You know what I mean? Like it just forget it. Humans, we're just finished. We're finished, okay? We've got no chance. So we don't even know how to price that economy. Think about companies, friends. They're like, that's why the S&P 500, remember, it used to be such that companies stayed in the S&P 500 for about like 45 years, the index. Now it's down to 17 years. Yeah, so probably by 2040, it'll go down to like 12 or 11 years. Why? Because things are just moving so fast. Once you get an edge, it's harder to last, right? Imagine a world with AI. AI can just dissect everything, bro. Make everything efficient, faster. They can tell you why something's popular, you know? So it's a faster world. It's a newer world. And hopefully orange juice is abundant everywhere. This is another chart. The US City Economic Surprise Index. And then it's overlay with the US dollar deviation from the trend. So pretty much, friends, see how the US dollar has deviated from its trend. It's had a surprise. So it's very interesting what they do. I guess they draw like maybe moving average. And if the US dollar goes up or down away from the moving average, it's like a fast move. They'll measure that. They go, oh, wow, US dollar went up. That's pretty bad. It went down fast. That's pretty good. Well, the one that happened, it's a leading indicator for this economic surprise. So we're expecting an upwards economic surprise, this white line. Okay, it's implying, so right now we're at a poopy level of 0. It's expecting something of like a plus 60, which is huge. Okay, so pretty much it's another way to show you, you know, some moving parts of the puzzle, showing you things are going to get better. This is the global PMI and the average of ISM and the S&P 500 global. So it's the average of 52 and 49 or whatever it is. Okay, it's the average. So it's about 51. It's ready to crank up. Okay, so this is where we hit in 2021. In 2017, we hit like 50. So this value is about 60. We hit 60 in the last cycle. 2017, we hit about 55. In 2013, we hit about 56, 57. Okay, so right now, obviously, this thing's 51. So everything is starting to move along its way, like painfully. So come on, bro. Can we just hurry up and crank? This is a chart of Bitcoin on the top, and on the bottom is the ISM, showing you when it peaks, Bitcoin peaks. All right? ISM peaks, Bitcoin peaks. ISM peaks, Bitcoin peaks 3 times. Right? And it's not perfect because look at this. Bitcoin peaks, and then ISM crosses back down later. Here we have it right here. So Bitcoin peaks at 20. When ISM crossed, friends, Bitcoin's back at 8 or 9,000, which is still amazing if you're buying at 400. But yeah, I mean, like it doesn't feel nice because Bitcoin goes to 20, comes back down to 9, and the ISM has peaked. But you don't know it's peaked, by the way. You still think the thing is rolling. Okay? Something interesting, when it peaks, friends, when the ISM starts to thrust up, when it, like one thing I measured, when ISM hits 52, I measured, okay, how long does it take to hit the crypto top? The shortest was 9 months. The longest was 18. So even if you took the shortest 9 months, we haven't even hit 52 today. We're still at a value of 49, which just came out this week. So, yeah, does that mean you add 9 months? Maybe. Don't cement yourself with these ideas because, you know, euphoria can come at any time. Like, Ty Lopez can join at any time, right? But yeah, just 9 months from today puts us at March next year. That could be something interesting where everything, like, peaks. I also want to show you this cute chart. This is Altseason of percentage of assets outperforming Bitcoin in a rolling 90-day period. Right now, it's only 8%. Yeah. See, but this is, I don't like this chart because if you grow up 2% and Bitcoin's up 1%, it goes, oh, yeah, not alt season. You know what I mean? So that's, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's just showing you we're at the lows, which you already knew. You already knew everything's cheap. You know, we've been saying the same shit for 2 years, dude. You know, if we were going off previous cycles, we were meant to have an alt season last year. Bitcoin dominance was meant to at least thrust down last year. In the Bitcoin halving year, a year and a half ago, still hasn't. So that's the pain. That's the difference between the 12-month ISM requirement to 52 and now we're in month 32. So that 20 months, that's the pain we've been going through so far. Now, time for vitamin B. This is the banana zone pictures. This is how banana 1, banana 2, banana 3, and now this is where we are now, banana 4. So what actually is the banana zone, friends? Well, you know, we call it, it's a lovely picture. Everyone knows what a banana is. High in vitamin B. Bet you love eating those bananas, don't you? Now, the banana zone is, simply put, it's when the economy, which is us, where the government has printed enough money for enough time, and it has been enough time, and whatever is enough, it's how long is a piece of string. When the traffic lights have been green for enough time, such that we are happy to be uncertain about the future and take on risk. That's what it is. So then crypto, just like everything else, we now price in the future. And what happens towards the tops of the pools is you don't price in tomorrow, you don't price in 3 months, you price in like 3 years from now. That's what happens in crypto because we have no cap. You know, we're not like the stock market. We don't price in a year ahead. We like go mega hard. We like price in 4 years ahead. People get really, really, really excited. That's the parabolic part. You know, Metcalfe's law and everything starts to come in to effect. So that's what it is. So we are waiting for that moment. Right now, it feels like we haven't priced in anything. Yeah, right now it feels like, well, crypto's at 3.3 trillion. Here's the thing, friends. If crypto's at 5 trillion, I think that's like fair. You're not pricing in the future at that point. You're like, oh, I think you should be 5 trillion today. Right? So that's why I think if crypto goes to 10, man, it would be amazing. Imagine it goes to 12 trillion. I'm like, you know what? You've now priced in the next 3 years. So that's where we want to get towards. And it's outside of our control anyway. But it gives you confidence that if crypto's at 4 to 5 trillion, I'm not worried. You know, it's not dangerous for me. It's like fair value. I don't want to get rid of anything at fair value. But, you know, these are just words about it. So if you see euphoria and stuff out here, we've got to take a different mindset. So macro is still on track, friends. After you've seen all of that, it's still on track. It's been taking a long time. I don't like when people, you know, talk like, oh, it's so easy. I just had to get Pewy. I had to get Soylana. Don't curse yourself. Or you think you're a genius. You're going to be the perfect cherry picker every time. Friends, do you remember all my videos last year? I made many videos. I showed you there were 500 altcoins from 2021. Out of those 500, 5 recovered in this Bitcoin halving year 2024. 5 out of 500. That's 1%. 1%. And I named them Injective, Floki, Fetch, Soylana. Do you remember, friends? B&B. 5. I could name them, bro. 5 out of 500. The other 495, kabooshed. I also want to show you something as well. Do you remember, friends? One of them was Injective. Look what happened in Injective. Let's get you the full chart of Injective, okay? Friends, Injective, look what it looked like at the top, bro. Friends, it literally looked like it's on top of the world. See that? Whoa, we're going to bull flag and go up higher. That's what it looked like. Yeah, but look what happens next. Look what happens next. Let's fast forward it as well. Look what happens next, friends. Do you see? You're watching? If you go to the top, look at this. Oh, no, it's come back down. No, it's game over. No. Watch. Where's it going to finish? Uh-oh. When's the damage going to stop? You think it's over? Keep watching. What about now? See this? Look how random it is, friends. Look how random it is. Cranking around. Check this out. We're going to keep going. You see that? You're living this. This is weekly chart. How painful is that? See how you had this hope? It was going on here. Oh, coming back. Oh no, now it's coming back. You see that? Perfect example, friends. See that? Perfect example. There you go. So from the top to the bottom, it dropped 88%. I'm so glad I was able to show you that. See how you like, oh, it's coming back, it's coming back. Oh, bro, but friends, this broke friends, look how high it went, bro. It broke the all-time high from 2021. Look what it did. Went up 35x. It literally broke the all-time high. Friends, in another world, in a parallel world, Soylana is like down 80% from that $200 mark, and Injective is still making higher highs. And whoever was long Injective in that parallel world is saying, it was so obvious. You just have to pick my coin. My coin is the best. Injective. Inject yourself with some protein. It can happen to anyone, man. See that? You don't look like a genius now, do you? So, you gotta have some respect. You do have some respect. You know how tough it is. You know how tough it is. That's why I don't like people putting others down. Like, oh, you just have to pick my coin. My coin, the best coin. It's spit in the bucket with the pa-ching noise. Come on, bro. You guys are in markets. You haven't been humbled yet? Well, so obvious. I've got the coin for the adoption. I realize, friends, what happens is these people take a lot of breaks. Yeah. At first, I used to doubt myself. You know, maybe not really doubt myself, but I was like, oh, maybe they know a lot. Maybe they just know a lot more than me. They just drink soy, man. They're not here 18 hours a day. I see it over and over and over and again. Literally, discipline 100% of the time. I'm here 18 hours a day. I see it. It's so clear. It's so transparent to me. I mean, literally 18 hours a freaking day. Not skipping a beat. These people going eating cheese crackers, going on holidays. It's okay, bro. Go recharge your batteries. I'm just telling you, when you come back, I've accelerated beyond you even more. Okay? And they come out and they say, oh, but I've got the winning thing. Everything's going to be great. We'll see, bro. We'll see. That's why. Learn from the past, friends. The worst thing you can do in life is to look at people of the past and judge. Because someone in the future is going to be looking at you, calling you a retardio too. Okay, so we're on the right path. Macro's looking juicy. Yes, finally it's time to go up. We still have an appreciation of how much luck and chaos there actually is. And remember, friends, the secret to markets is not adoption. All right, the secret to markets is positioning. Every mainstream KOL is still positioning for Soylana to flip Ethereum, and it's been 1.5 years. And the president already flopped he unzipped his pants and then flopped kabonk, flopped his meme coin out into Soylana. He's already done that. You know what I mean? They're still positioned. Oh, long. Ethereum. Friends, they're questioning whether Ethereum has an alien founder. I bet if you open up Vitalik's body, he's got one lung. That's some DPO stuff if you know that. They got one lung. None of this inefficient two stuff. It's one system. So, I want you to remember this, friends, okay? Look at this. Look how much it tricked you, by the way, bro. This thing went and broke the high. Came back down, you know? So, like I said, in another parallel world, Injective is the one that makes the higher highs. Soylana is the one that not. Next cycle is going to be something else, okay? So, moving that all aside, we're still long, we're still strong. When PMI is 52, okay. Right now it's 49. Once it's 52, now we're entering the heated territory, and now we can actually think about, okay, the shortest that ended was 9 months, the longest it went for 18 months, we can have that talk. Until that moment, we're still waiting. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.